cold with plenty of snow in Joliet, Illinois. Let me show y'all. Mm, Hold on. Oh boy. Whew. We are in the middle of a snowstorm. Ooh. Middle of a snowstorm. Oh boy. This is April Showers of the April Showers Network. And I want to come to you with peace. And I want to thank God, who is the head of my life. Oh, ouch. Hold up. Okay. Let me see. Whew. So I am housebound. Y'all like my hair? My BFF, I was on a mini vacation, and my best friend, who was unalived 20 years ago by her boyfriend. And so I got a chance to see her children. And her daughter is a beautician, and I said I was going to work with my hair. But I wanted to just come on and do a quick show. And I was sitting here thinking, we have had all of the gatekeepers, all of these different people tell us we should boycott Walmart. We should boycott Target. We should do this. But me, I was like, hold on, y'all. Give me 1 minute. I'm having a bad pain day, this weather. But as I was sitting here, hey Joshua, yeah, Joshua, after I finish this show, put your cash out in the comments. As I was sitting thinking, with everything that has come to light now, and I thought, as a foundational Black America that was born here in the United States, also known to me as the United States of America, I thought, why do we celebrate and go all out for these pagan holidays? So we know Thanksgiving was built on another lie. Okay. But yet, we go all out. We spend all kind of money having, celebrating a holiday that really was based on an unaliving of people. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you know, I don't celebrate the holiday. I celebrate the day and I give thanks. To me, I say, stop boycotting these holidays. If we really want to make an impact, we can stop celebrating these pagan holidays. Now, we got Christmas coming up, which celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ. But yet, it was built on presents, gifts. It is so terrible that we have to think, hey, Robert, we have to think that some people will go in debt for one day, to make sure that we have, the biggest gifts. Ooh, I got my son the latest game, the games, I bought the TVs. People fall out with each other. I'm tired of every time I draw somebody's name, they bring me the cheaper gift. I say, if we really want to hit these stores and we really want to boycott, and this is just my opinion, I'll say we stop celebrating these pagan holidays. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me or not, but we don't celebrate Juneteenth. We don't celebrate Kwanzaa. We don't celebrate our holidays. But we go all out for these pagan holidays. We go broke. And I will have to say, our people we. Hey, Joliet 52. Hey, Shatika. Hey, you learn with Robert. Hey, Joshua. I just was sitting here like, this is the way that we can really make a difference. If we hit these stores and stop celebrating the holidays, that's what we could really do our economic boycott. And just think how much money that you could save. Just think that you have people that are families that are torn apart because they didn't get something at Christmas time. They didn't get a Christmas gift. You have people that's walking around because they didn't get a big bike on Christmas Day. I feel as though me personally, I celebrate birthdays, someone's birthday, because to become a year older with the wisdom and knowledge, and just to be able to celebrate that person still being here is what I do. I go all out for birthdays. Okay, I'm glad. Yeah. So let's look at the comments. You Learn with Rabbit says, I personally celebrate the birth of Jesus and Easter as it relates to the resurrection. I understand completely what you're saying. Thank you, Robert. Joliet 522 says, Amen. It's biblical to not celebrate the holidays. Hey, Jose. Hey, Joshua. Shatika says, blessings, everyone. But if we really, to me, for FBAs, which are foundational Black Americans, that was born here in the United States of America, I personally feel if we wanted to make a difference, since we have never received reparations for building this country, it would be to the interest, and this again is only my opinion, and this goes for all people of color that built this country. If we stop celebrating these pagan holidays that was built on a money day. So let's see, you got Valentine's Day. Everybody gets the cards, the candies. Then you get people that if they can't get you a nice gift, or they forget about Valentine's Day, that means they don't love me. those pagan holidays were made for money. So for the year of 2026, the only celebrating that I will be doing will be birthdays. I will celebrate your birthday. I will celebrate weddings if someone gets married. But all these other holidays, I'm not doing it anymore. Well, I haven't been doing them in a while, but I'm not doing it because the reason this show came about is because someone asked me if I wanted to participate in a gift exchange, in which, I like giving people gifts and I like receiving them as well. But you're putting a limitation. So they were saying, well, it has to be valued up to $50 and write down 3 things that you would like that would be about $50. And I said, well, the economy is bad. And some people right now, $50 is a lot of money. And of course, a nice bottle of cologne or perfume is probably about $50 or $60. And I thought, so what if the person can afford the $50? Or what if they decide to buy a gift, that they can afford? And I said, you know what? Count me out. I'm not going to participate because I don't want to do it. And anybody that knows me know I am not a cheap person. I buy nice gifts. But anything that's coming with a requirement, nah, I'm not doing it. Now, yes, Jose, to me, Christmas is to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. It is. It really is. Okay, thank you, Jolie, at 52. Yeah, can we just celebrate his birth instead of buying the gifts, people going in debt, people being in competition with other people? You have some kids, people are expecting a bunch of gifts under a Christmas tree. That's what it has become. If we can take away the gifts and the money that's being spent on Christmas Day. And a lot of it is show to say, oh, I bought my son or my children this bike. I bought them the latest games. So, and then, Jose, you are correct. To be honest, ever since, I lost my mom in 2014. Well, I lost my dad in 2000. They're not the same. You're right. The holidays bring on a sadness. I get all pumped up. I get invited to people's homes, but I usually end up just being by myself. But what I did this year is I just reflected on the great memories. But it was still the sadness. It's still the sadness. My Sandra put the Romney 12/29/31. I used to enjoy holidays. Once I learned better, I'm doing better. I'm not mad at anybody. I feel proud to celebrate the Most High holy days. And so this is just a quick show. I was just sitting here just like, I'm done. The only thing I will be celebrating in my life will be someone's birthdays, weddings. Then, if people want to start boycotting, if you really want to do this economic boycotting, don't buy anything on Christmas. Don't buy anything on these holidays. Just think, all of the money that is made on these holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't celebrate your mother, your father, the birth of Jesus, the resurrection. But put your money into something else better. This is April Showers. It's just my opinion. And to me, if we really wanted to make a difference and we wanted to put demands in and be recognized, then stop celebrating these holidays. I bet you if Fba'S, because we do the most, if you did not celebrate these holidays, I bet you that would make an impact. Yes, Jose. Jose says to me, the highlight of Christmas Eve is going to church. And it is. It should be a time of reflecting Jesus. But they don't do that. They don't do that. But I just had a moment today, and like I said, we are so conditioned now that people aren't speaking to people because they didn't buy them a Christmas gift or it was too cheap. You have. And it's all about gifts. So just reflect on what you think the holidays mean to you. Look at the real meaning of which holidays you choose to celebrate. And again, I'm going to say for me, it was all made for money. And with the economy being bad right now, we're going through this transition. We are seeing where a lot of people have stolen from the American people, tax-paying people. But that's a whole nother show. Again, if you want to really celebrate people, you don't have to do it on these pagan holidays. If you have a significant other, you don't have to wait till Valentine's Day or Sweetest Day to get them something. You don't have to wait till Mother's Day or Father's Day to celebrate your parents. This should be done on a daily basis. I talk to my parents every day. So, come up with your own holidays. They price gouge anyway during the holidays. Come up with your own day for your family to get together. You can just meet at a park or go to somebody's house, but we don't do that anymore. We don't want certain relatives at our house. This one is better than that. And we've just upped the ante for celebrating holidays now. I say, make your own holiday. And me, April showers, I will be only celebrating someone's birthday. That's it, and that's all. I will give a few gifts at Christmas time. And that is to someone or somebody that I know who would love to have a certain perfume, or they would love to get their nails done or something. So, for FBAs, if we really wanted to make a difference, and if we really wanted to go to the drawing board to get what we think we should have, if we boycott holidays, I think that would be a great solution. This is April Showers, and I really appreciate everyone coming to my show. This was like a light bulb moment because we've never received reparations and we will never get them. And I will not be fooled by any politician. I can go back to when it was Field Order 15, when President Lincoln was unalived, and they rescinded on Field Order 15, which was up to 40 acres and a mule. And nobody has ever challenged that. So, in my opinion, that would be the best way. Sorry, y'all. My allergies. I would think if we wanted to get our reparations, I say, oh gosh, if we wanted to get our reparations or go back to the drawing board, I personally feel as if we boycotted holidays, that would make a difference. So, it's personal on a lot of levels on why I would not be celebrating holidays. One, because they are pagan holidays. Two, if we want to make a difference, we'll never get reparations. So I'm not buying into the pagan holidays. No. Hey, Susan. Hey, Renee. How you doing? Yeah, Renee. I was just, I had a light bulb moment. Like I said, I was called about a gift exchange. And I just told them, count me out. Count me out. You want to tell me, the limit. And don't get me wrong, it's okay. But I said, I'm not doing it because I'm going to buy what I want to buy for somebody. And I don't want anyone to feel as though, they have to spend $50. Sometimes a little scarf Something so small and simple could mean something, but they were like, the gift has to be valued at $50. And I was like, ain't nobody spend my money. I used to didn't have a problem. Because like I say, I buy nice gifts. But I'm just thinking, this is a bad time. The economy is bad right now. People are struggling. You know, a lot of people, even that have money, they're struggling. People are charging groceries. People are keeping up with everything. So, I don't know about y'all, but we only going to get a 3% raise from Social Security. 10%. We need 20% to keep up with inflation and the cost of living. And I'll be darned. I did not live and work for 40-something years, to be worrying about high food costs, high rent, everything. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to enjoy my life. But it can become unbearable with this cost of living, especially with food costs. And I only get $24 a month in food stamps. Make that make sense. I don't know who came up with all of these guidelines and what you can make and what you can get. Hold on for a minute. Okay. So yeah, right now, it's hard for people. It really is. People can say whatever they want to. People, we're still able to make it, survive, but everything ain't adding up now. You're spending more money on food, which is taken away from your vacation money. To some people, this cost of living has really hurt them bad. The way things have went up. So, and right now, we have a winter storm in effect. And I will not be moved. I would not be leaving my house, going out in no snow. I don't want to slip and fall on no ice. No. I said, we have a winter storm and I shall not be moved. So I will be in the house during this winter storm. I like the snow. I like looking at it. I'll maybe step outside. They say the cold air kills germs. So, but this was just a quick show, just me thinking. Tomorrow I will be doing another show. I'm going to get more into you know, back to my personal things I like to talk about. And I'm going to be talking about how some people have to win no matter what the situation is. But again, the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of Darlene April, known as April Showers Network, and I will no longer be celebrating that one holiday. I will celebrate someone's birthday, weddings, the birth of their children, things like that that are more personal. I celebrate God, and I celebrate Jesus all the time. Even when I was at my lowest point, even when I've been depressed. And so I can celebrate them. But other than that, from a personal point of view, please do not go in debt for Christmas. But, this ain't gonna reach people because we've been programmed. Like, you gotta have all of them presents under the Christmas tree instead of celebrating Jesus Christ. So, they've taken away the meaning, and it has become so commercialized where some people fall out during the holidays. So, it's just my opinion. And then I was thinking, they always talking about how they want to boycott Target. They want to boycott all these other stores. And I thought, if we really wanted to make a difference, since we've never gotten any reparations, if we really wanted to make a difference, we wouldn't celebrate these pagan holidays, which was made for money. Just think about it. Money. So, again, like I said, this is just my opinion, my thoughts. But to me, if we really wanted to make a difference and we wanted to come to the table to get our reparations, if we boycotted these pagan holidays, we would make it. So I've got 2 reasons I won't be celebrating holidays. For one, they're pagan holidays. And I'm going to celebrate somebody. I don't need a holiday to celebrate them. And, I'm sort of 38 9mm hot when I look at we never got reparations. And I see immigrants come over. I'm looking at what's going on in Minnesota with the Somalians. It's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody has gotten a piece of the American pie, this United States of America. Except for us who built this country, who built that White House, who patents and everything was stolen, who generational wealth was taken away. So I thank you for listening to my show, and I thank you all. Remember, don't go broke. Um, I can remember as a child coming up, my parents worked in steel mills. And I can remember them being on strike. And my mother said, y'all not going to have no big Christmas this year because your father's on strike. And it didn't matter because we had some nice candy bowls and we had little small gifts. And it was just fine. Just fine. Let's get into the true meaning of these pagan holidays. It was all about money, but yet, right now, I know of an individual that's trying to struggle to make sure her kids have a nice Christmas. And they do have different programs out here, Toys for Tot. But with the economy worrying about groceries, gas, rent and everything, it's just awful. The mindset of having a holiday put on people to spend their money. It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. This is April Showers. Thank you all for joining me today. Peace. I want to say this. Take care of yourself first. I love you all. Peace and blessings.